All right, folks, welcome back. Natural One's Dirty 20s Rides of the Runelords. This is episode 10, guys. This is fantastic. You guys had just finished fighting and defeating the queen of the catacombs of Wrath, Irilium, the Quasit, and you slew her slave sin spawns as well, thus cleaning out the catacombs. You've done what you can to minimize the magics that are in the sin spawn pool, and you feel it is safe and essentially a good time to retreat back to Sandpoint. As you're coming up through there, you notice that the double doors to the foundry area is wide open, and you actually see people moving about inside the glassworks. You hear a couple familiar voices, actually. You hear Amiko, who is shouting out some instructions to some people, which is kind of surprising because it wasn't more than a few hours ago that you had told her about her father's passing. You curiously peek into the room. You see Tirana, who you lost track of while you were down in the catacombs of Wrath after you were in the prison. And you also see Uni, who you haven't seen in a couple of days. They've collected the goblin bodies. They've collected the bodies of the workers. Looks like they're in the process of giving the final rites to the workers. They haven't done anything yet with Amiko's father, who you can see in the far area there is still sitting and encased in glass. But you can see Amiko is getting Tirana and Uni and some other people from the town to essentially help her with this grim task. What would you guys like to do?
I would notify who's the leader right now. That would be Amiko.
Yeah, who's directing traffic in the shop? Yeah.
Yeah, just notify her of what we encountered through that passage, stating that we ended up in some kind of a underground chapel of evil.
Okay, so you go into the foundry. You bring attention to yourselves from Miko. Both Tirana and Uni come over to join in the discussion. Tirana looks at you and, I'm sorry, I had to leave the catacombs. I was feeling very strange and had feelings of, wanting to hurt you all. So out of your safety, I retreated before I could, lose control. And Uni looks at you and says, "Oh, I'm sorry I haven't been around since the attack on Sandpoint, but I've been with Father Xantus helping at the cathedral, and I've actually taken a role as the clergy for Serenray there. So if you require any assistance, you can come see myself, and I can be your main helper through the church, or Father Xantus, of course. But I'm available for healing and blesses of that sort, and I can even help you out in the background as much as I can." So you tell Amiko what you've encountered underground or in the catacombs below. She is rather disturbed by this whole premise of some sort of catalyst to maybe some of the things that have happened to Sandpoint over the past, decade, maybe even longer, considering that what you've been saying, that the feelings that you'd get while in the catacombs, it kind of relates to maybe even the times of unpleasantness, she points out, and during that time there were, a lot of domestic violence occurred. That's when the church was burnt down. We actually had a serial killer during that time who managed to kill 8 citizens before he was taken down by the constabulary. It was a disturbing time, and we again tend to not speak to it directly, but maybe there's some sort of tie there. 5 years ago there was this rash of events, and it seemed to have subsided, but it seems to maybe something's happening again. Maybe. Yes, unfortunately, I shouldn't say, couldn't totally agree with you on we've had some strings of bad luck. That seems to be okay now, but maybe not. So
Yeah.
Uni notices that you guys are a little dinged up, and he channels his positive energy, and he's going to do that 4 times. Actually, he can do it 5 times a day, so he can do that. And he will heal most of you up except for Baron, who still has a little bit left. Baron, you're down to 5 wounds, but everybody else is fully healed after Uni has given the blessings of Sarenrae to you all. So Amiko also says, you have been very busy the past couple of days, actually since the attack on Sandpoint by the Goblin tribes. I've taken it upon myself to essentially collect your just rewards for all the things that you have done. So essentially the goblins that were felled and the items that were left behind, we've kind of taken a collective pool, and at the Rusty Dragon there are literally bags of gold for you all in retrospect to what was recovered from the goblins and, you know, scavenged as well or recycled, and essentially appreciations from the local merchants for your hand in saving the town. And of course you have permanent lodgings available to you at the Red Dragon Inn, courtesy of myself, so please get rest. And yeah, thank you for everything you've done.
Not a problem.
To be fair, I would say I'm in need of a meal.
It's roughly about 6 p.m. You have had a very, very long day when you think about it, right? You woke up this morning, you were told that Amiko was missing, you went to the glassworks, you ended up fighting those goblins, fighting Tsuto, going back to the glassworks, discovering the catacombs of Wrath. So yeah, it's been a long day of hard adventuring for all of you. As you are slowly walking, something breaks the silence of your quiet, tired walk. The sound of a woman screaming in absolute panic and terror comes from a street just to your left. You turn your attention and you see a woman carrying a baby and dragging a 5-6-year-old child behind her, screaming and bawling as she's running out of a small house.
Is she like visibly injured?
She's visibly distraught. She doesn't look injured. She's running towards you guys because you guys are at the intersection of this roadside. Make perception checks.
I was about to say, what's going on, citizen? Yeah.
Wow, rocking it. You guys doing great. Okay, so it doesn't take very long to see the child that she's dragging behind her has wounds all up on his arm. He's like in his bedclothes because it's late in the evening, but he's got wounds all up his arms, and it looks like there's some active bleeding on his forearms. Plus, he's also got some scratches on his face. The woman doesn't look like she's injured in any way, nor does the baby that you can see. She's running like blind, stark mad towards essentially anybody, and she's like, "Help me, help me, help me, help me!" And she's just hysteric. She's absolutely hysteric, and she's just trying to get anybody to listen to her for half a second, but she's also grabbing people and like trying to hold on to her children at the same time, and there's a lot of panic going on.
I personally don't know any good way to calm her down.
Punch her out.
Yeah, you can easily intercept her.
Yeah.
And when you go to move towards her, she's, oh my goodness, it's the heroes, and she comes running up to you. It's Aldergast. There's something in my son's room. He's been whining and crying for nights. There's something in his room, and the dog just cried out, and Aldergast went and checked, and he screamed, and I just grabbed the kids, and I ran, and oh my God, go help my husband.
Okay. Where's the house?
She literally came out like 40, 50 feet away from a little hovel, a little house. The door's wide open.
Okay. I'm gonna hurry up my pace towards the house. The glaive in hand. I'll see things through.
Excellent. Anybody else going with Ruthard?
Did she say please?
She did not.
I don't know if I can help you then.
Yeah.
Then
I'll
you
go as
stay
well.
with her. We'll go.
Oh wait. You mean if I don't help, then I have to stay with her?
Yes.
No, I'm in. I draw whatever. Quarterstaff, heading, following.
So that stuff that's
Yeah. Screw this crap. I'm not staying with the crazy.
Do we have
citizen.
anyone who can heal right now?
Roland, the paladin, starts caring for the boy.
Good.
Okay. Let's go.
Okay. Oh, Lord, I gotta get you on the map there. All right. So the three of you go running towards the house. Initiatives, please.
That doesn't bode well.
All right. This is just gonna be pretty straightforward, where I'm just gonna kind of get you guys to tell me what you're doing, kind of in succession. So Lorelith, your elven feet beat you to Ruthard to the door of this tiny little estate, and you're seeing this little house. You seeing the map?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. It is straightforward. It's not an overly complicated building at all.
Mm-hmm.
And the door is wide open. Like I said, I'm going to move you in front of Ruthard, and then you see into the house. And what you see is a nice little living room area, right? And you see onto your immediate left, there are two doors that are open.
Mm-hmm.
You're not hearing anything. It's very quiet.
I'll check the first room,
Okay,
the closest one.
move yourself up to where you want to go. You creep up to that first door. You kind of hold your hand back for everybody else to give you a second. You look into the room, and this was obviously the parents' room. There's a larger bed up against the wall, just with regular sort of furniture and other assortments. You don't see anything into the main dining area / living area. Do you want to check the other door? All right. You come to this door. The room is dark. The curtains are closed. You know, it's the children's bedtime, so, you know, the light that is outside isn't as prevalent here in this room because of the dark curtains. But I want you to make a perception check.
That can't be good.
Yeah. You're distracted because Ruther's at the door saying, "What do you hear? What do you see? What's going on?" Like, shut up. Do you want?
Hey,
Do you want?
don't blame me.
Check out.
Do you want to do another move set, or do you want to stay there, or what do you want to do? It's technically a round, so you've done your move actions.
Not really much else I can do. Just stay where I am, I guess.
Okay, you could do another move action and actually go into the room.
Okay, then I'll do that.
Okay.
Walk in.
All right. When you walk into the room, you are met by something very creepy. Up against the wardrobe here in this location. Oops, I turned on target mode. I don't want that. Back here, you actually see a man lying down on his belly, and his shoulders are in a wardrobe. And the wardrobe is about 4 feet high. A double wardrobe sort of thing for hanging up clothes and whatnot. And it's very curious because the way he's in the wardrobe, he's lying on the ground, his shoulders are up onto the wardrobe, but his hands are fixed down by his legs. And he's not moving. Make another perception check, please. Just then, as you're taking in this whole scene, you see the body lurch a little bit. Like, not lurch as in he's getting up or anything, but the body seems to be pulled towards the wardrobe opening. And you hear now this sound of coming from the wardrobe.
Slurp.
It's a minute.
You can do another. You still have some movement in your action if you'd like to take it, or you can call back to your companions.
I'll call back to my companions, get them in here.
All right. Ruther, you're up.
Well, I'll go here.
Chug, 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 chug.
And not any further. And what's the name I heard? Aldergast?
Alderdash, yeah.
Alderdash! Are you in here? No answer? Great.
No answer. And Lorelith, that smacking sound that you heard stops when Ruther called out. Justin, do you want to get into this, or are you going to leave it to these two to get killed? I mean, discover what's going on here.
Well, in that case, no.
Come on, cousin.
What would you like to do after your movement?
I don't think I can really see anything in that room. I'll whisper to Ruther, did you guys find anything?
No. No. No.
Well, look harder. What are you doing?
What?
I called you guys in here. What is taking so long?
Go further. She says she saw something.
Oh, go ahead.
Are you guys being quiet, or are you talking in your normal voices?
I'm talking to my normal voice.
Oh, there you go. We're all gonna.
No, I am much more like whispering, but
Thanks, Emily.
that's because Jason whispered.
Yeah, I thought we would whisper.
Well, Jasin, you did make it a note that you whispered, so.
Pretty sure I said I whispered.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, Baron, what are you doing?
Me and all the can only move up to here, so That's all I'm gonna do.
Okay. You come in behind your crew. They are, looks like they're cautiously trying to figure out what's in the next room, or they're pointing out that there's something in the next room.
Actually, could I take a double move action?
Yes, you can.
Move it up here.
Okay. You position yourself onto the other side of the table. You look at the table, and it looks like the remnants of supper has been left on the table. It looks like, a typical family meal prior to putting the kids to bed has happened here. Tavian, what are you doing outside, bud?
Seeing as everyone's heading in a slight commotion, I also note that there's a window on the outside of the building to the room there. I want to subject that I want to go around and see if there's a window on the outside of the room where they're at. So I will go 5, 10. Yeah.
Yep.
Basically going to see that window there.
Yep. Sounds
So I'm
good.
securing. I'll be able to make it to here, I believe.
Okay, I'll let you get right beside the window. When you get to the window, you realize that the blinds are drawn. You can't see into it, but it looks like the window is actually open a little bit. Make a perception check.
Yeah, let's let me find that here.
Oh, fantastic!
Nice.
So you and
It's a line, I
Lorelith,
tell you.
hear from the wardrobe. No, you can't have what Guskert has. Guskert's food. No! Out of the wardrobe springs a goblin. He comes clambering over the body of the man, and he's brandishing liver of metal. Also, you guys have noticed now, beside the man, tucked in the corner next to the wall, is a dead dog that looks like it's been grievously wounded. This goblin is going to strike out towards Lorelith with its dagger. Oh, and it hits. No, you can't have Guskert's food. It slices into you with a jagged piece of metal, Lorelith. And it is now your turn. This little goblin's come out of nowhere, screaming blue murder. His face is covered with blood and flesh. You can pretty much discern what he was doing. What would you like to do, Lorelith?
I guess I'm gonna attack him back. He stabbed me first.
That's only fair.
I'm not gonna try to kill him though. Mortally wound him.
Okay. Oh, you miss him. Do you wish to move and open up the area for your combat?
Okay, no worries. Yes, I'll move further in. There's a little shithead in here. Fucking goblins.
Ruther, you're up.
I'm gonna put my glaive onto the table to my right and take out my shield and warhammer.
What?
About to get bludgeoned to death.
Can I do some kind of an intimidation?
If you would like, you do need to be you need to be in the room. You're around the
I need to be in
corner.
the room,
Yeah,
but I'm not in the room.
that's correct.
Okay, I know there's a wall between,
Yeah, it's 10 feet. You'll have to go. Just move.
and that will provoke an attack of opportunity for the goblin, right?
It will. Yes.
I'm gonna stay where I am.
Okay.
Can he do a verbal intimidation from outside the room, make it sound like there's a bunch of people there?
Sure, I'll allow it. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Call in the dogs. They hate dogs.
I know, that's why I said it.
That's good. Okay. Justin, since it's in Goblin, I want you to roll the Intimidate check.
Oh, joked.
And I'll even give you a +2. +1 for mentioning dogs and +1 for mentioning... Never mind. As I was saying, it was in Goblin
Good job.
and it was... what do you have for Intimidate?
Nothing.
You have nothing, eh? You don't even have a charisma bonus on it.
No. I'm not an intimidating person.
Not at all. Yep. That's right. The moth
Goes
is
for the dog park, sounds like a chihuahua.
That's
Okay, so Justin, you're gonna stay there then? You draw your weapons?
yeah, because Pierre's taking a doorway, I guess.
Yep, Pierre pulled out his shield and his warhammer and is waiting for the adversary to come out.
I'll move there and that's
Okay. Baron.
Okay.
get in there, tank.
Alright, I think so. I'm going to move in
Alright. He will take
and
an
take
attack of opportunity.
Okay, that's fine.
It's okay, he misses.
And I'm going to take a swing to my immediate left. And, there.
Oh, look at that hit.
And damage.
Alright.
You damn.
Yep, you stab the goblin. You hurt him pretty bad, too. He doesn't die, though, but he is definitely affected by that. Alright, Tavian. Just in front of the curtain, someone moves in front of the curtain, opens it up a little bit. You see that Lorelith is standing directly in front of the window. What would you like to do?
Do I notice it looks a little cramped in there?
It's getting there. Yeah.
I will hold the ready action out here then, for either if for some reason it actually were to make it out the window, so I could just like nail it, and also at the same time keeping an eye that nothing else tries sneaking through either that window or the one further down to counterattack or assist that goblin.
Sounds good. Alright. It is the goblin's turn, Guskert, and he is going to continue to attack the elf, who he seems to have a particular hatred for. Unfortunately, he misses with his little piece of steel. And he's trapped in the corner. He knows he's got no choice but to fight. And Lorelith, it's your turn again. This little thing looks kind of mad too, like not goblin mad, but a little bit more than goblin mad. Like he's angry, but he's a little bit insane too. He's obviously suffering from issues.
I was gonna say, if we opt for it in Goblin, surrender and we will be merciful. Is that an option?
Make a sense motive.
Sorry, I know it's not my turn. I apologize on that.
Oh, you can do a sense motive when it's off your turn.
No worries. I did nothing anyway.
13.
Yeah, you're thinking this thing, this goblin, has I don't know, been driven to madness. Like he's desperate is actually the right word for it. He's absolutely desperate. All right, Lorelith, do you want to move, or are you going to just stay there? You do know that Tavian is right behind you at the window.
And I'll move up.
Okay. You move in and up kind of half and half on the bed.
One.
And you're able to still attack the goblin when it's your turn. So, Ruthard, what would you like to do?
Okay. Shield hand, armor in the other. Time to take some risks.
All right, you move in. The goblin is going to take its attack of opportunity because, you know, it's just panicking all over. Rolls a 1. It goes and his little slash or little slice of metal that he's using crashes up against your shield and shatters. And now he's weaponless. And he's like, and he's just going to try and claw everybody's eyes out. It's your turn, Ruther. Can't touch this.
Stop! Hammer time! And time for me to flatten the goblin with a...
Oh, miss. With a whoop, boom, clops down right in front of the goblin. It's pretty quick for a crazed goblin.
Stand still.
Justin, your compatriots are literally packed in there. It's a great time to launch a fireball.
Don't tempt me.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Right. I assume I can't even see the stupid goblin from there. Or...
He's tucked into that corner. Like, you wouldn't be able to attack him with a weapon because of the wall. But you might be able to squeeze off maybe some magic if you're creative enough. There you go. Damage, please.
Pew!
Pew pew!
Sorry.
Or just, yes, it's just pew. You only get one.
Yeah. Sorry, I hit a button and it disappeared. Big whopping.
Ooh. It hits it into the shoulder and it screams, ah! Gusker just want to eat. Gusker just want to go home. Baron.
Okie doke. Could I attempt to capture this thing?
Yes, you can do a grapple check.
Okay, would that be in skills or?
I believe we've talked about this. You have improved grapple. Yes, so you will not provoke an attack of opportunity when you try and grab this little creature. So all you've got to do is make a combat maneuver check, so a CMB against its CMD. So I'm looking at your character here. Your
It was CMB.
Yep, your CMB can be found on your front page.
Yep.
You see it there? So
Yeah.
just grab and drop it on the goblin, please. Oh, dang it. You
Grapple.
managed to grapple the goblin. Way to go. My goblin is now grappled. Weak. Oh, wait, and you are too. That's the way that works, right?
Yes. Pretty good.
All right, you're grappled, and so is the goblin. That effectively drops your armor classes, and then next round you can attempt to grapple him again, and you can pin him, and then you can subdue him. Okay? Come his round,
Grapple.
he's going to... Sorry? Go ahead.
Yeah, right. Grapple. They're just hugging it out.
Yep. Well, he grabs a hold of this goblin by the shoulders, and it's kicking and screaming and, kicking at his shins and trying to get away. Tavian, you still going to hold position?
Absolutely.
All right. And then it's the goblin's turn. He's going to try and break free, because why not? He's a crazy goblin.
Yep. Does not see defeat.
It kicks futilely against you. Let Oscar go! Let Oscar go! And you have him really close now, and he's covered in blood and flesh and fur, and it was quite evident of what he was doing. It's quite horrific as you're close to him, and he's like even trying to bite you too. He's crazy. Literally, he's crazy. All right, Lorelith, you're seeing Baron trying to subdue this goblin. Are you going to help in any way? Are you just going to let it happen, or?
Probably have rope in my kit. Could I tie him up?
So your rope will be in your backpack. It would be a full round to pull it out, essentially get it out of your backpack, and get it ready to use against the creature. Once Baron pins it, we'll end the combat if he's successful in pinning it, and then you can tie him up. How's that?
Sure. So I'll take the rope out for now.
Okay. You dig out your rope. Ruthard, are you going to let Baron continue his grapple, or are you going to get in there prior?
I'm gonna give a hand to Baron.
Okay. I need to make a grapple check. Do you have improved grapple as a feat?
No.
Okay. So because he is grappled, it doesn't really matter. Guskert cannot make an attack of opportunity. So I just need you to make an aid check. So make a CMB roll and roll over 10. Okay. So you're successful. So you're aiding Baron in his next grapple check. Good. So you're grabbing at the goblin too, and you're trying to hold down his feet or trying to grab an arm at the same time. Jasin, are you doing anything?
Am I able to get an assist?
Yeah, I'll let you aid. You can kind of reach in and try and grab his leg or whatnot. So roll a CMB. And roll over 10 to aid. Fantastic job, you guys. Great. Both Ruthard and Jasin help Baron along with this crazy goblin. Baron, you now have a +4 to your grapple check. So roll your CMB with a +4. And if you're successful, you will pin this goblin. So, in the final moments of this combat, with Jasin and Ruthard helping you guys all dogpile onto this little goblin. And Lorelith comes in, and you guys manage to literally tie him up like those classic villain tying the damsel up to the train track sort of deal, where rope is all around, hog tie him, yes. And he's bound, and he's struggling, and he's, let me go. He's just absolutely frenzied, frothing at the mouth. And part of your pin as well, Baron, you can gag him if you wish, or not.
This is the goblin. I don't see the point in it.
Okay. So you now have, that ends the combat. You now have a bound up goblin who's screaming and whining and crying and yelling and ranting and spitting at you. And you now get the lay of the land, and you now get an opportunity, Lorelith, to see where this goblin came from. And you see now, especially from your vantage point, the body of the man is actually, his head is in a hole that's at the bottom of the wardrobe. And there's a carpet or a rug that was at the bottom that's kind of tossed to the side. And you can see where this goblin was obviously hiding. What would you like to do? As Baron has successfully pinned this goblin.
Well, I'll let the group know and say how we should move the goblin out so we can investigate this hole.
Good idea. Baron, you step out with the goblin in tow. So it's kicking and, no, that's my food. Give me my food. And Lorelith and Ruthard and Justin, since you're in the room, clearly evident that the body is that of the woman's husband. He's dead. He dead. When you go to look at him and you move the body a little bit to check on him, you realize Gaskert the goblin was eating his face. And his face has been absolutely mauled. There's absolutely no life in this man anymore. Yeah, the dog is lying beside him, also dead. You can see that there's actually a chunk of metal in its ear. And realize that when you pull body back, all there is about maybe a 5-foot square area underneath the wardrobe, not even. Just really enough for the goblin to kind of hide in. And from the smell of the filth in the area, he's been here for days. Right? And you see a broken weapon, and you get the idea that he's reforged a broken horse chopper into some sort of weapon. What do you do with your captured goblin?
I kind of want to leave that up to the woman outside to decide.
Who's gonna give her the sad news?
Not it.
Not it.
Not it.
Your entire party points to you, Justin.
We're gonna say, don't we have a paladin for this kind of stuff?
We have a paladin of all season.
So the paladin, Roland, has actually been caring for the child.
He has a good rapport with the mom. Okay, there you go. See, we'll let him know, and he can pass on the message.
So you guys go off for a bit. You guys kind of discuss what happened, what you guys found. Baron is still inside the house with the goblin. Roland's like, well, what do you want? Oh yeah, you guys can hear it screaming, even though it's the doors are closed. You can see that the woman, she's a little, her attention is being brought to her house. You guys close the door, right? And then Roland's like, well, yeah. So this is Emily. So the little guy, Aaron said that, aside from having nightmares every night, he was being woken up and the dog was barking at something. And tonight, something came out of the closet and attacked the dog and attacked him and started biting his arm, and he was screaming, and that's when his dad came in the room with his mom, and then, as Emily said, she grabbed the kids and ran out as her husband, Othergas, was going to take care of the problem, as they would say. And from UJ, okay, he says, he takes a deep sigh. Okay, I'll take care of things. He stands up and he walks over to Emily. He does the movement of, ma'am, I need to chat with you for a second, takes her off, and either Lorelith or Ruthard, he kind of hands you a baby Ruthard and pushes a 6-year-old towards you, Lorelith, as he's going to go talk to the mother. And you see the conversation take place, and you see Emily's face just drop, and she begins to sob and wail as she takes the very awful news of her husband's death. Shortly thereafter, the town guard actually arrives, and they take control of the scene. And after a short conversation with them, they let you know that they'll take care of Emily and her children. And they also will take the goblin and take care of it, you know, as they say, with stern eyes, unless you have other plans.
Nope. I was just gonna leave it to the woman to decide its fate.
It looks like the town guards knows what its fate's going to be.
Yeah, then I'll just leave it to them.
Yeah. How's the saying go? A long
Can I
drop
sense
and a short
motive on the
stop?
town guards?
Pardon me, Matt?
Can I sense motive on the town guards?
Go ahead. Oh yeah, they're going to kill it. Outright. They are going to wrap a very short cord around its neck and throw it off the barracks walls.
Good to know.
After what this town has suffered over the last couple of days, can you really blame them?
I make a donation to the widow.
And they lead her off, and they gag the goblin, essentially, and they tie a rope around its feet, and they drag it through the streets towards the barracks. And then you
I'd
guys
like to follow them.
Pardon?
I'm going with the town guard to see what becomes of the goblin.
Okay. So they go up to the barracks, and there's a small little, I can say it's like a signpost, but it's got like an L shape to it. They throw a rope right over the L shape. They tie it around the goblin's feet. They bring the goblin up so that the goblin is kind of wriggling like a worm, and they slide a dagger.
I yell out, hold on a moment.
Yes.
I approach the town guard. May I speak with you?
Speak.
Death is too much of a nicety for this creature. How much gold would you want to keep it alive and use it as labor? Force it to suffer it as others have suffered by its head.
So, okay. So make a diplomacy check.
Not bad.
Not bad. You know, and the fact that you're not hostile or anything like this to these individuals, or you know, they're essentially friendly enough to you. You stay his hand for a moment. Make a sensed motive. Yeah. Regardless of that, you're not getting the sense that they're willing to rehabilitate a goblin in any way. These men are salt of the earth, and that's just not how things are done around here. Right? Goblins are evil. Goblins are squashed.
So be it. Proceed.
And
I walk away, but I turn to watch.
They summarily execute the goblin. They slice its throat wide open, and then they pull down on the chin to make sure that it bleeds out. And you can see there's a lot of hate there. Until it stops kicking, and then they just leave it there. So that was kind of the scenario there, where Guskert was hiding since the raid. 5 days ago, he found a hiding spot in this house, attempted to escape, always encountered Petal, the family dog, until he was driven insane enough to risk his everything and attack the dog, and instead of escaping, decide to try and eat the boy. And well, we know the fates of everybody after that fact. You guys retreat to the Rusty Dragon. You are exhausted. It's been a heck of a day, to put it very mildly. You guys slump down in your chairs in the bar. The barkeep sees you, comes up to you, and immediately has, pints of ale, a pitcher of ale in cups for you to all imbibe and to relax. It's kind of quite obvious to everybody as people see you come in. There's a stunned silence because you're coming in quite haggard. And when heroes come in haggard, it usually means they're up to good and have done good. But, they need their break. They need their rest. You guys are all downstairs at the Rusty Inn having a very nice breakfast prepared by Bethana and Amiko. You have cleansed the town of the immediate goblin threat, discovered an ancient catacomb hidden underneath the town, and maybe even discovered the reason why some strange things have happened over the last 5 years or so. Everybody say goodnight.
Good night.
Good
Night all.
Take care, guys.
Hi.
Night.